What's going on, guys? It's your boy John Liquid coming back with another video. And today we got to talk about Dawn Staley being in some serious hot water after what she said about Caitlin Clark. Yeah, you heard that right. The heat's on, and we're diving deep into this because it's sparking all kinds of debates. For this one, we're headed to New York. Let's get it. So, Dawn Staley popped up on the Breakfast Club today to talk women's basketball. Now, we all know the explosive growth in women's basketball right now, and it's largely thanks to Caitlin Clark. That girl is opening doors and bringing in fans like never before. Honestly, I'm not even sure if Dawn had ever been on the Breakfast Club until today because the WNBA scene is straight fire these days, hotter than fish grease, for real. During the interview, Dawn talked about the infamous play between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Yeah, that one. The one foul that had everyone talking. I've said before, I've watched that play a million times, so I'm not about to replay it here. We're past that. But what Dawn said about it, that's where things get interesting. She basically said she thinks the call was a common foul. Others agree, including Dave Porto, who also called it a common foul. Dawn said she doesn't necessarily agree it was a flagrant foul. She explained it like this. From her experience playing and watching basketball, if it had been any other player, it might have just been called a foul, not flagrant. The officials have a tough job deciding that kind of thing, she said. What's wild is how she framed the whole Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark storyline. Dawn mentioned how the WNBA and media sometimes pit these two against each other like it's personal, almost like the classic NBA rivalries, Magic versus Bird, that kind of thing. But here, it seems to be a lot more personal, which she thinks is a bit different. But here's where Dawn's comments really got people talking. She said that the officiating is a tough job, a hard job, and that they understand the dynamics between Angel and Caitlin. She thinks this rivalry and tension actually help grow the game because it brings in viewers. And she made a point that this kind of physical play happens in every sport: soccer, basketball, football. It's just part of the game. So let it be. Then, Dawn said she's going to take the lead of Angel and Caitlin on this, meaning she respects that both players accepted the foul call and the official's decision. So she's moving on from it. But that's when things got interesting. She tried to say that fans need to open their eyes to the whole talent pool, not just focus on Caitlin Clark. She mentioned all the other great players out there: Camila Cardo, Ashlyn Watts, Tessa Johnson, Malaysia, and the team that went undefeated last season. She was basically saying, yeah, Caitlin is amazing, but there's so much more talent in the game too. That part might have been well-intentioned, but she stumbled a bit. She actually said outside of Caitlin, well, not outside, included, and kinda backtracked on excluding Caitlin. You could hear the hesitation. That moment got people buzzing because it sounded like she was trying to downplay Caitlin's star power, but then realized she can't. Honestly, that little slip sparked a lot of backlash. People felt like Dawn was trying to take shots at Caitlin, even if she didn't mean to. Some say it was just awkward phrasing. Others say it shows there's tension under the surface. Then the conversation shifted to officiating in general. Dawn talked about how officials have a tough job managing games, especially with the physicality and emotions involved. She said sometimes calls escalate or de-escalate situations, and that's part of the game. She also brought up the replay feature, saying she likes it because it allows officials to correct mistakes, which is important since even the best refs get calls wrong about 10% of the time. Those mistakes can cost games or affect tournament seeding. She made a solid point that if players and coaches can get criticized for mistakes, officials should also be accountable for their calls. It was a pretty balanced take on a difficult topic. But going back to the Angel Reese Caitlin Clark foul, Dawn's stance, that it was a common foul and the officials got it right, rubbed some fans the wrong way. A lot of people felt she was downplaying how intense and personal that moment was, especially given the history and spotlight on those two players. The media frenzy and fan debates around that play showed how much passion there is in women's basketball right now, and how much Caitlin Clark has become a lightning rod for attention, both positive and negative. Personally, I think Dawn's comments open up an important conversation. The WNBA is growing fast, and the spotlight on players like Caitlin Clark is both a blessing and a challenge. When stars rise, there's going to be drama, rivalry, and intense scrutiny. But at the end of the day, it's all about growing the game and appreciating the incredible talent across the board. So what do you all think? Was Dawn Staley right to say it was a common foul and that the officiating got it right? Or do you think she downplayed a moment that was way bigger than just a call on the court? Do you believe there's tension between Dawn and Caitlin? Or was that just a misunderstanding? Drop your thoughts down in the comments right now because this conversation is just heating up. And keep those notifications on because I've got a banger coming up right after this. You do not want to miss it.